With us today, we have a very special entertainer, David Wayne. David, I want to thank you for being on the program today.
Good to be here, Paul. Always good to do anything for your TV station or your radio station.
Well, it's great that we can return the favor.
Thank you.
You're written many songs. You've entertained from at least a teenager, or even maybe a little bit before you were a teenager. And you've written songs in pretty well everything that we're going to be talking about today. You've written, composed, and
yes, sir,
and recorded.
That's right, and was around long enough when you did your first True Value Showdown, and my band was fortunate enough to win that back then, and so it's been a while.
Yes, and we're on year number 27 this year.
Year 27.
During the showdown.
Time flies, doesn't it, Paul?
Yes, it does, and we're looking forward to it. And tell us a little bit about your road trips.
Well, we keep going back and forth to Nashville. Recently here, my friend Buck Moore, who wrote Paint Me a Birmingham for Tracy Lawrence, and I have penned a few new tunes, and Buck's doing well, so I keep writing with the guys that write the hits, and the band keeps doing well. So we do a lot of fests. They'll see us around. I've got my Duff button on this today, so this year Duff will have their 125th anniversary, and we're raising a lot of money for MDA down there, so we encourage them to come out and support MDA. And we also do the Huntingburg Herbs Fest, the Dell Fest. We start the spring off in another month, I believe, with the St. Henry Fest. We also do the Ferdinand Fest and the Duff Fest and the Holland Fest. So we like the fest atmosphere.
Well, you're certainly a recognized entertainer in the area.
We hope to be at the hotel at French Lick here in August. I believe we're there.
Very good. David, why don't we listen to a couple of your songs?
That'd be great. Hi, I'm David Wayne. Good to be here with you. Going to do some songs off our new album, Bayou Blues, and some I'm sure you've heard over the years. Some of my buddies I've written with in Nashville and some of my local friends. So we're going to do one you guys play on the radio. It's called She Ain't Here, Ain't All There. Written by me and Richard Ross from Nashville, Tennessee. She probably knows that I've gone crazy. I'm right out of my head, just tossing and turning in this big old double bed. Now I'm talking to myself, wondering if she even cares. Just another lonely fool, since she ain't here, ain't all there. Now I keep hearing voices that keep ringing in my ears. They're telling me those sweet words she used to long to hear. Yes, I finally lost my mind to the one that used to care. So close to going off the deep end, since she ain't here, ain't all there. I wonder where she is tonight. Wish I could hold her in my arms. I'd beg her, darling, please take me back into your arms. But I don't know where she is. I know she's out there somewhere. It's just driving me insane, since she ain't here, ain't all there. Now I keep hearing voices that keep ringing in my ears. They're telling me those sweet words she used to long to hear. Yes, I finally lost my mind to the one that used to care. So close to going off the deep end, since she ain't here, ain't all there. She probably knows that I've gone crazy. This next song is called Bayou Blues. It was a true story written about a buddy of mine named Freddie. We ran shrimp for a while. He was from Louisiana. Of course, we lost Freddie a few years back. And 2 weeks before Katrina, I sat on my front porch and wrote this little song because all his family was affected by the hurricane and lived in FEMA trailers. So it's a little Bayou Blues. He was a French Indian, he was my best friend. Born and raised in Louisiana, taught me everything he knew about shrimp. Wrestling alligators and eating crawfish like old Forrest Gump. We were dreaming it rich, me and Freddie. And every now and then I get these Bayou Blues and a chill when the wind comes whipping through. When I look out on the water, it takes me back to you. And Lord, how I get these Bayou Blues. Bayou Blues. Bayou. He may be gone, but his memory lives on as long as I get these Bayou Blues. Now it's been years since Freddie's passed on, and I've lost all touch with his mom. They say that time can heal all wounds, but I still get that feeling that we used to get when I see the Gulf Shore and those big old ships roll by. And every now and then I get these Bayou Blues and a chill when the wind comes whipping through. When I look out on the water, it takes me back to you. And Lord, how I get these Bayou Blues. Bayou Blues. Bayou. He may be gone, but his memory lives on as long as I get these Bayou Blues. He was a Cajun man, he was my best friend. Born and raised in Louisiana, taught me everything he knew about shrimp.
Well, David, those were two great songs,
Thank you.
She Ain't Here and Bayou Blues. Can you tell us give us a little background as to why you wrote those songs and recorded them?
Well, you know, my friend Freddie Sill, who passed away with cancer a few years back, I helped take care of him in an RV up north for a while, and he passed with cancer, but his family was from Mississippi or Louisiana, and when Freddie passed away a few weeks before the hurricane hit, I sat on my front porch and penned the words to Bayou Blues, which you all play. And so that's a real special song to me. His family were living in FEMA trailers, and we're trying to get some good support so that song, we can take the royalties and give it to the people of Louisiana.
Then two more songs we're going to hear here shortly is Blackburn Road and Kaiser Miller.
Kaiser Miller. When I was a kid in Huntingburg, there was a grocery store called Kaiser Miller, and Terry Kendall and I had wrote that little song. And over the holidays, Gordon Miller give me some pictures of the old store, and I give them the lyrics to the song and a CD, so they were really happy about that.
Okay, and then Blackburn Road.
Blackburn Road is what the band is named Blackburn Road because my grandparents down in Petersburg off 50 by the power plant is where they lived, and when we were youngins we were there a whole lot, so the sign's still there, Blackburn Road, and that's where the band gets their name from.
Okay, and that is also a song that we
yes, sir.
will be hearing. And your band is Blackburn Road.
Blackburn Road.
Okay, why don't we give a listen to that?
This next song is called Blackburn Road. My grandparents had a farm down in Petersburg where the power plant is, off that Highway 50. There's a little road called Blackburn Road, and a coal bucket still run there today. I left my home, all the city lights, but those dreams turned into sleepless nights. I found myself all alone as my heart cried out, please take me home. Disappointment was my best friend. Come tomorrow, I'll be heading back again. Take me back to Blackburn Road, that tin roof and that old coal stove, to Grandma's apple butter and Mama's homemade love. Take me back to Blackburn Road, that's where I left my heart and soul. Lord, what I'd give if I could live back on Blackburn Road. Reminiscing by this old tree where the apples once were so sweet. Beneath these weeds was an old dirt road. It used to lead me to where I called home, and that bare spot on the ground used to sit beneath our old house. Take me back to Blackburn Road, that tin roof and that old coal stove, to Grandma's apple butter and Mama's homemade love. Take me back to Blackburn Road, that's where I left my heart and soul. Lord, what I'd give if I could live back on Blackburn Road. That's for my mama. There was a little store when I was growing up called Kaiser Miller, and over Christmas I had Gordon Miller and his wife give me some pictures of that old store. And of course it's not there anymore, but right off 8th Street and Van Buren, or was it Washington, but either way, Kaiser Miller store sat right next to a little factory, and Terry Kendall and I had penned this little tune one day. Soda pop was a quarter, and you'd get a dime back for the bottle.
and today's 10-cent candy with just a penny. We'd wait every Halloween, we'd buy their paraffin, we'd wax their windows when they closed the doors down at Kaiser Miller grocery store. You could charge it if you were poor, when delivery meant Albert at your door. It was Kaiser Miller grocery store. Every day at dinner time, you were sure to find a line from the factory to the store. You could get a homemade sandwich or some 15-cent chips, or hear the sound of that old wooden floor down at Kaiser Miller grocery store. You could charge it if you were poor, when delivery meant right to your door. It was Kaiser Miller grocery store. Now there's a parking lot, lunch trucks bring it hot. They don't make them like that anymore, like old Kaiser Miller grocery store. Or you could charge it if you were poor, when delivery meant Albert at your door. It was Kaiser Miller grocery store. Kaiser Miller grocery store.
Well, getting back to a little conversation, David, and then we'll have hear a few more songs. We have a CD here, David Wayne and Blackburn Road Bayou Blues. Can you tell us a little bit about this CD?
Well, of course, the Bayou Blues was the song about Freddie, but we just took some favorites, and some of them were recorded in Nashville, and some of them were for local. But that little CD there has got a little bit of everything on it. The Betsy Pickle tune, of course, I live at Lake Helmrich, and after all these years, my son had come home from school when he was younger and told me his teacher was Mrs. Pickle, and that she collected a few articles and sent them to her daughter Betsy, and I got thinking and tickled about that, and so we wrote a song called Betsy Pickle, our first song published in Nashville. And all these years later, it's funny, Betsy's father is my new neighbor. So he said the only problem with the song is it wasn't long enough. So that's just the way it is.
So one of these years you might add another verse or two.
Yeah, we'll have to do that to make Bill happy.
Yes. There's something about the picture on the cover of your CD.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Paul, because that is a shrimp boat. And when Freddie was alive, he loved the ocean, and when we got down there and we go out onto the boats, matter of fact, our buddy that owned the Great Wall, Mark, went with us, and we went out on the boats and went fishing, and we'd bring back fresh shrimp, and it was kind of like Forrest Gump. And then when Freddie passed, so we carried that legacy on.
Tell us a little bit about your songwriting.
I'm fortunate enough to write with the guys that write the hits, like Buck Moore, who wrote the Paint Me a Birmingham, and my buddies all have gold records, and they're telling me mine's coming. We sure hope. But Richard Ross has wrote some great songs. We've got a song coming out called Will He Make It and His Girlfriend Betty Don't, and that was penned by Richard Ross and myself, and a lady named Tony Day, who's had some great hits with George and Tammy and Conway and Loretta. So we go back and forth. Matter of fact, Tommy Spencer, who married Pam Knies, I think you know Pam, and Tommy's my chauffeur. We go back and forth. He'll drop me off at BMI. It's like my own little chauffeur, and we'll do our thing. And after we ride, he picks me up, and we go down and see our friends. And we usually stay for a few days, and then we're right back home.
Tommy's a great person.
Tommy's a great guy. Yes.
What instruments does he play? I know he plays guitar.
It's better to say what doesn't he play. I mean, he's got a little bit of everything in his little studio. And him and Buddy Ward have been great friends for years, and we've done a lot of good things together.
Well, why don't we listen to Betsy Pickle and Out of Our Mind.
Here's a little tune called Betsy Pickle. I went to school with Betsy, and she was a cheerleader. And my son come home from school one day and said, do you know Betsy Pickle? Her mother is my teacher. And I was just flabbergasted. he went on to tell me that Betsy had cut some memorabilia out, or her mother did, and sent it back to her when they put something nice about me in the paper. And I was just smitten, and all the way home I couldn't get over that. So the Betsy Pickle tune was written. My last class reunion, we did the Betsy Pickle tune, and they made a big deal out of it anyway. Here's Betsy Pickle. I spoke to an old friend's mother, said she's living in Loveland, Ohio. We reminisced, we laughed and we giggled, and I confessed my crush on her daughter, Betsy Pickle. Day after day, week after week, 12 years of homeroom, she sat next to me. And after school, I'd ride my bicycle high to Orchard Ridge, past the house of Betsy Pickle. She was the prettiest girl on the cheerleading team, and every night I lay down, she's what I dream. Oh, she give me butterflies, my stomach tickled every time I said hello to my sweet Betsy Pickle. Friday night, big football jamboree, I played the bench, but I had the best seat. I didn't know the score, and I could not hear the whistle. Oh, win or lose, my eyes were glued to my sweet Betsy Pickle. She was the prettiest girl on the cheerleading team, and every night I lay down, she's what I dream. Oh, she give me butterflies, my stomach tickled every time I said hello to sweet Betsy Pickle. Guess who called me after all this time? Married with 2 kids. She says she's doing fine now. She thinks about me, can't help but giggle when she turns on the radio. Here's sweet Betsy Pickle. Betsy Pickle. We'd like to promote our little new CD. I'd like to thank my son, who does all our computer work now, and Renee and Don Bell for being in there and helping for years. She makes the ones that go out to Nashville, and my son has got a new one out for us. It's called Bayou Blues, and they'll be out shortly, so be looking for that one. Thank you. Here's one called Out of Her Mind. She quit crying on my shoulder. She stopped waiting by the phone. No longer ask where are you going, or even if I'm coming home. I had her wrapped around my finger in 14-karat gold. The chains can't hold love down forever. It's give and take with heart and soul, and I can't believe it's over. Bye-bye. I told her one too many lies, left her all alone at night, and I drove myself right out of her mind. I should have told her more I loved her. I should have stopped to realize before I broke her heart in anger and made those tears fall from her eyes. Now much too late I see the picture. How could I have been so blind? I beg and plead for her forgiveness, but God, if I can't change her mind, then I can't believe it's over. Bye-bye. drove myself right out of her mind. And I left her all alone at night. I told her one too many lies. I drove myself right out of her mind. Here's a little tune called Rough Water, High Tide. He said, I will not believe until I've seen with my eyes the holes in his hands and those scars in his side. You know, Thomas was a doubter until he saw the light. His only darkness was night in rough water and high tide. Jesus said, I've walked on the water, you put your hand in my side. Still, ye little faith, you know I am the bread of life. In rough water and high tide. Sky turned dark and the clouds rolled in. Thunder and the lightning struck fear into the men. Oh, but they woke up the captain and he spoke to the wind. And the sea was calm again in rough water and high tide. Jesus said, I've walked on the water, you put your hand in my side. Still, ye little faith, you know I am the bread of life. In rough water and high tide. Now 5,000 men and only 2 fish. Only one chef prepared that dish. Yes, there were women and some children and 5 loaves of bread. 12 baskets left over, but all were fed. In rough water and high tide. Jesus said, I've walked on the water, you put your hand in my side. Still, ye little faith, you know I am the bread of life. In rough water and high tide. That song was written with me and Tommy Spencer. Rough water and high tide.
David, you know, we've listened to a number of songs, and shortly we're going to close out with a tune, Nashville. Can you tell us a little bit about that tune?
Well, Nashville, you know, when I first went to Nashville, my buddy Barry Beckett produced all Bob Seger's albums, thought he was going to make me the next Garth Brooks, but God had different plans. So that little song talks about moving to Nashville, and then, of course, we had moved back home after we made some good connections. And every one of our concerts that we do, the guys like to open up with Nashville on our introduction. So when they come hear us, they get to hear a little bit of everything, and we're so thankful you guys have played that music on the radio for years now. I keep wanting to know when it's going to be ready for the solid gold favorites that you play on Saturday morning. I don't know how long I got to be around till I can get that done, but we just thank you for all you've done for the radio, Paul, and anytime we can help. And I wish all the contestants on the showdown this year the best of luck, because I've been there and done that, and it's just a wonderful, it's our Grand Ole Opry, so I'm always tickled anytime we're over there, and good luck to those people.
Well, good. How can we get a hold of your CDs?
The new website is davidwaynecountry.com, and once you push that up, my son tells me if you'll log on to MySpace, then it'll tell a little information on how to get a new CD, which will be out shortly.
Okay, and any other CDs that you
Right,
have?
and we sell them a lot on stage and the fairs and fests, but I know the new one, it won't be long. They'll be able to get that.
Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I'd like to thank my wife and my kids for all the years, and all my friends that have helped, whether they're in Nashville like Buck Moore or around here. I just learned a lot and got fortunate enough to be around a lot of good people. They've kept me straight over the years, and I got a good preacher that tries to keep me in line. We did a little song there called Rough Water and High Tide that they got to hear, and but just God bless them, and may they keep searching for their dreams. I think we should all have a dream, and I'm going to keep writing because I can do that, they tell me, until I'm 100.
Dave, it's certainly been a pleasure.
Thank you, Paul.
To have you on the program.
Good to be here. You keep that little copy for yourself.
Well, thank you. And also, why don't we close out with Nashville.
See you next time for Channel 27 and WBDC. Bye-bye.
I left home with tears in my eyes, packed up my guitar, my kids and my wife, said goodbye to my family and friends, sure like to see them again. But I was told a long time ago, follow your dreams or you'll never know, don't let life pass you by. So I moved to Nashville to give it a try. Now I've still got some Nashville, and it's living in my soul. And this dream goes on forever and forevermore. Well, those bright lights still move me like they used to do. But I've gotten used to those Nashville blues. I'm working hard to get my pay, go back home on those holidays. Sometimes I wonder why I left when I'm not finished in Nashville yet. So I play in these bars at night when I should be home with my kids and my wife. Lord, it's hell, but I'll pay the price. It's in the blood, and I guess that's why I've still got some Nashville, and it's living in my soul. And this dream goes on forever and forevermore. Well, those bright lights still move me like they used to do. But I've gotten used to these Nashville blues. These Nashville blues. These Nashville blues.